Now, this started with the 7 performance areas, and I'm going to work down from the 7 performance areas down to the what executives are paying attention to, but this would apply to everyone. Mental, physical, and spiritual is on the side that we can control. Emotional is in the middle. This is where we can be hijacked. So it's the gateway to the right side. You notice on the bottom it says be, do, have in faint letters. And that's because it's so easy to start with relationships, professional, financial. You're changing jobs or starting a business. What are you going to do? Who's your customer? Everybody's looking over here, when the first thing we have to do is have agency. And this is your identity. Once you get your identity reset, that's why I call it a reset, 7-step reset, because right now your identity is one that was largely formed from 0 to 7 with the conditioning and beliefs that you may not even have had a say in. And that's formed your identity over the years. By the time your prefrontal cortex is formed with the 20 billion neurons, that's 1/5 of the total neurons, that comes between age 19 and 27, you're basically locked in. I say the prefrontal cortex operationalizes your conditioning. And then from 35 on, it's basically 95% by habit. Now, that may be fine if that's the life you want, and I'm not knocking that at all. What I'm saying is if you have a quest or a purpose that's bigger than yourself, you have to reset your identity first. And so we take laps around this part to make sure we've got the identity that can handle whatever comes your way over here. And then we have an extended follow-up period so that when things do come in that throw you off course, you're able to recover quickly. That's like the anti-lock brakes, stopping the skid before it even happens. So this is the first part, and we're going to now cover how this applies to the homeostasis and allostasis. You probably heard the word homeostasis. I would say far fewer people have heard of allostasis before. So homeostasis, you could think of it as stability at the status quo. So the brain and the nervous system, and this was not taught years ago, but the brain and the nervous system are actually prediction engines. They're constantly predicting what's going on and what can I anticipate. This is like the pre-listening. You walk into a room and you're automatically prepped for what could come as a stimulus or whatever, something you have to deal with. And when that prediction matches what's coming in, then the neurotransmitter production tends to be reduced because it's energy intensive and the brain is kind of stingy with that. This is one of the reasons why hacks don't work. If you think about a hack as something that gets you through the day, there might be some speaking hacks and it works for a while, but then it's like it doesn't work anymore and you need a new hack.